Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to take care and clean your boat to make sure it lasts a long time as well as look good. In order to get every nook and cranny of this boat, go ahead and remove absolutely everything you can from it. That includes life jackets, trolling motors, everything like that if you're able to. And once that's complete, go ahead, go to the back, remove that drain plug. That way we can allow any water to escape from the back. Now before we begin, a big shout out to Better Boat for sending me all these products to try, and this is what I'm going to use to be cleaning the boat today. As with any product, always follow the manufacturer's instructions and recommendations in order to get the best results. For my use, this is a pretty heavy duty boat cleaner. It's made to get scum off of fiberglass boats that have been sitting around for years. Fortunately, all I have is some mud on this boat and it's only been on here for a day or two. So I went ahead and I made a 50-50 mix ratio of the instant hull cleaner and water, just dilute it a little bit, and I'll also reduce how much of this I'm going to be using so I can use them for later projects. In case you're wondering whether this stuff works, I want to show you how to go from all of this to this. From this to this, and finally from this to this. I want to take my instant hull cleaner and go ahead and spray all of the bow of the boat and get all these mud stains saturated, and then let it sit for 1 to 2 minutes and allow it to start picking up that dirt and making it easier to clean off. This hull cleaner is pretty heavy duty stuff, so make sure that anything that drips on your trailer to go ahead and wash that off thoroughly as well. While it's not absolutely necessary, a power washer is a great tool for cleaning boats, ATVs, trucks, your house, everything else. And with these new electric ones, just like the Sunjo here, there's no maintenance involved. You don't have to worry about cranking it, worry about gasoline, carburetors. You simply plug it in and go every single time. And without brushing at all, look at the massive difference that has made. What I'll do now is continue that process throughout the entire boat, spray an area, let it sit for a minute or two, wash it down, and then move on to the next section. Since the sides are so flat, when I put the instant hull cleaner on, I'm just going to give it a quick wipe down, and that's just going to make sure that it gets into those dirt deposits and start lifting them up where it's easier to wash off. The results are incredible. There's a massive difference. All that mud is gone. We have the true color of the boat back, and it looks great. Now, while you're doing all the sides of your boat on the outside, what you want to go ahead and do as well is come down here to the tire, check it out. If you're in a muddy environment like I was, see if there's any gravel, mud stuck inside or near the axle or the suspension. Just go ahead and knock that out with the power washer. Use a soap, not necessarily detergent like this hull cleaner. Clean this wheel well out. Go ahead, just rub it in, use a sponge, and then power wash it. And that's going to help keep this looking great and lasting a lot longer, helping to mitigate corrosion, all that rock just getting into the axle or something of that nature, breaking something. Just a good step to go ahead and do. Now that the outside is done and looking good, we're going to go ahead, get in here on the inside, and I'm going to use that instant hull cleaner. And you don't need a whole lot of it, just spray in a few areas, and I'm going to scrub it with a brush, get all this gunk off, and then power wash from top to bottom. That way all this mud will go running off down here into the troughs, and then it'll go into the bilge and it'll start coming out. And once you get all that nasty mud and water and it goes down through the bilge, make sure that if you do have a bilge pump, you do not want to turn it on. This could damage the bilge. You're going to suck up nasty little mud particles, sand, tiny bits of gravel, and you don't want that, and you don't want to deal with it. Like I said earlier, just go ahead, take out that drain plug, and let all the water clear out of here. All I'm going to do is spray some of this instant hull cleaner down, take a brush, and brush it in a little bit. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time brushing, just make sure to get it in, make sure you get it everywhere, and then let it sit for a minute or two. I'll go back to the pressure washer and take it all out. Look at the massive difference. All that mud is now completely gone. There's some very small particles of just plant matter still in the boat, and that's going to be very difficult to get out. That may be something you're just going to have to deal with, depending on where you're cleaning your boat. The place I really have to clean it is under trees, so that's just going to be part of it. But I'm really excited. All the mud is also out of this middle compartment as well. It's off these back decks. This thing looks 100 times better. Now I've got the boat itself clean, it's time to work on the engine. Fortunately, the outside of engines are fairly easy to clean. Instead of using that hole cleaner, I'm going to go back to a soap, and I'm going to use a microfiber towel. I want to place soap over the engine cowling as well as the plastics underneath going to the lower unit. Lightly scrub it in using a microfiber towel, of course with water, and then I'm going to rinse it all off. Afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and take a chamois, and I'm going to go ahead and pat it dry. That way I leave no water spots, leaving this thing shining and beautiful. It's amazing how much dirt you can see on a rag. All of that was on the engine cowling, and now it's on here, trapped in the microfiber, no longer on this surface, making it nice and clean. Now the whole point of using a chamois is to keep all these water spots off, and all you gotta do is simply take your chamois and pat it dry. And this is going to make an incredible difference here in a second. And just like that, look. No water on the exterior, looks super clean, super nice, and like it just came out of the factory. While the engine cowling already looks great, I love to put a wax and sealant on for two reasons. It first protects the paint and the clear coat from the sun, and number two is that this particular sealant is super hydrophobic, so water beads up and just drops off. So by doing this, it's going to keep my engine looking really nice in the water, and it will reduce all the water streaks I'll have on it and just protects it a little bit more. This engine is absolutely shining now. That wax really does give it a nice finish overall, and you can see a little bit of this water dripping down. It's just beating up and rolling right off the paint. This is exactly what you want to keep your paint looking nice, keep water streaks off, and to protect the cowling of your outboard for years to come. Well, there you have it. This boat is washed, clean, and looks fantastic, and it's once again ready to go out in the water, looking just as good as it did when it left the factory. Once again, a big thanks to Better Boat for sending me all these products to try out. I really did enjoy using them, and the results speak for themselves. I don't have to prove anything to you. The products have done it for me. This boat looks great. It's super clean. All that thick mud that was dried up is completely out, and the engine cowling looks fantastic. All that's left to do is put everything back on the boat, get the boat in the garage, and have it sitting and waiting for the next time I'm ready to take it out. Now guys, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out Better Boat down in the description, as well as share, like, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.